There are bad days, and then there's the day where the strongest monster on the planet walks up to your village asking where the nearest coffee shop is. Jura showing up in Konoha isn't scary because he wants to destroy the village. It's scary because for the first time, someone smart enough to outplay Shikamaru might also be patient enough to let him try. And if Kashin Koji's warning means what it sounds like it means, Shikamaru's newest strategy isn't beating Jura. It's distracting him long enough that Himawari never ends up in the same room with him. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, takes a look at why Jura's meeting with Shikamaru that we see and Kashin Koji's new 10 Directions update is a much bigger deal than you realize. Also, Bleach fans, don't forget to head over to my Anime Explained channel for the new Bleach video breaking down all 28 Bankai, 1 hour of Bleach greatness filled with timestamps. Lastly, with Boruto on break, be on the lookout for more Patreon exclusive content debuting here on YouTube for everybody. We dropped the Obito and Hagoromo videos this week. Those are Patreon exclusive for a while, but also videos on Kakashi and Kaguya and Hashirama and other lore-based content that will get you through this month-long break where Boruto's manga is on hiatus. The newest visions from Boruto's last chapter with Kashin Koji may have quietly revealed one of the smartest decisions that Shikamaru has ever made as Hokage, because at first glance, the images look ridiculous. And somewhere Studio Pierrot's filler team is coming up with whole filler arcs for each of these scenarios. We see Jura, the almighty leader of the Shinju, sitting down and having drinks with Shikamaru. He's shown what appears to be Jura actually cooking, as in preparing food. The Boruto anime team's hard-on for filler content is more aroused than Kiba when he sees a bag of dog biscuits. The idea of the biggest monster in the manga right now being inside of Konoha, soaking in all the vibes like it's nothing, while Boruto's on the verge of crashing out and Momoshiki taking over, is something that feels like a story of two opposing forces being kept further apart for a bigger story later on down the line. In fact, this might be a setup for more than just a Boruto vs. Jura rematch. The glimpses at the possible futures, they carry a dark reminder of how dangerous the situation is. Kashin Koji says it outright earlier on in Boruto, way back during the last chapter before that Sand Village arc started. He says that when Jura is in Konoha, you treat him like he is the most important person in the village, no questions asked. His warning wasn't Jura will destroy Konoha immediately, but people focus too much on the fact that Jura won't destroy Konoha and not on the conditions that Kashin Koji laid out. Under one specific scenario, will Jura set down the book, set down the dango, and blow up the village? If someone provokes him, his love for Konoha will take a back seat and he will choose violence and everybody dies. The visions of Jura in the village once again become more daunting when you remember all of that and realize for the Hokage to be personally attending to Jura is a big deal, especially with all the political uncertainty right now. Konoha shinobi won't attack Jura unless they're ordered. And Konoha right now is someone who has more rank than Shikamaru's Hokage, Kobu, a chancellor of the feudal lord. What he says goes, and it is to be viewed as a direct order from the feudal lord himself. You have to remember, in the last arc, Kobu was almost killed by a divine tree person. The idea there being yet another one inside the village is going to be something that does not sit well with him, and it may cause him to have a lapse in judgment. You avoid that by having Shikamaru there with Jura. You avoid that by having Shikamaru keep Jura occupied and away from Konoha shinobi, and more importantly, away from someone like Kobu. It's no different than a guard mission for a VIP. It may feel like babysitting, but you do the mundane things like that for the sake of keeping them appeased. What better way to have Jura feel like a VIP than to have the guy escorted by the Hokage of the village for his latest visit? There isn't a better option. On Shikamaru's end, it shows he's tactical, he's adaptable, he's humble enough to take on a mission for the sake of the village that is beneath him. Yet, the mark of a leader is also understanding when you have to step out and get your hands dirty, even if it means doing something that normally you wouldn't. Thinking about Shikamaru's character, nobody expects him to be the super strong guy that can take down Jura. Even if you gave him every jutsu in Naruto, every Kekkei Genkai, Shikamaru would only manage to get Jura annoyed when the time came to fight. He knows Boruto can't beat him yet. Kawaki can't beat him yet. Code knows that if Jura says to bark, he better ask what kind of dog bark does he want to hear and how loud and how long does he need to bark. And almost every timeline Kashin Koji sees, the results, it's basically the same thing. Jura kills everyone. Shikamaru is a man with a million plans. But in this scenario, there is no hidden notebook label how to defeat a literature-loving, planet-destroying divine tree person. That means the only option is literally appeasement and patience. Shikamaru doesn't win battles of physical or mental state by being the strongest. He wins them based on his assessments that he patiently gathers, and he wins them through his mind. Buying time will also pay other benefits, like extra info on Jura that will come in handy later on, because every small detail goes a very long way, especially because Jura has shown himself to be one thing if nothing else when you pay attention to all of his scenes. He is chatty, very chatty. People focus on how strong he is, but it's Jura's curiosity that has always intrigued me. He, from the very beginning, was the one looking into what it meant to be human and trying to understand the aspects of humanity. The more he looked into it, the more questions he got. Every answer led to more questions. He enjoys experiences. He enjoys conversations. Someone like Shikamaru provides both of them to him. Ironically, even though something like this would be viewed as beneath a Hokage, in a way, this is the type of mission that only a Hokage should ever take. Jura's curiosity can be used against him, but it ironically also makes him unpredictable. Someone simple-minded like Mamushi, or a goof like Ryu, or a simp like Matsuri, they are easy to predict and easy to manipulate. That's how Kashin Koji was able to come up with perfect scenarios to take them down. Notice he don't have a perfect scenario for Jura. Someone like Jura isn't easy to place into a category. Jura is adaptable. The typical cookie-cutter villain wants to control or destroy, but the villain who seeks knowledge is one that is the most dangerous. Silence becomes their weapon because with silence, you can only guess what their intentions are. With silence, you can only guess what their true reactions are. That is exactly why Shikamaru doing the whole cooking class with Jura is so important, because it keeps him away from Himawari. Himawari isn't just the daughter of Naruto, she's also the target of Jura. That goes hand in hand with curiosity. Jura originally came to Konoha looking for Naruto, but then he sensed the Nine Tails inside of Himawari. Curiosity was triggered. When he attempted to kill Inojin, he ironically spilled the blood of an artist and made an art commentary, which triggered Himawari's hidden power to awaken. Curiosity was triggered. During their battle, Jura noticed her fighting and power was less like a Jinchuriki and more like a Biju. Curiosity was triggered. He noticed her healing factor was more like a Biju and not a Jinchuriki. Curiosity was triggered. You notice the theme? Curiosity. Take a drink every time I say curiosity. You have alcohol poisoning. Then Jura stopped going after Himawari as other things got his interest, but he never forgot her. Curiosity remained. He even mentioned her power up to Kawaki. She remained a target even when she didn't realize it. He's been in Konoha, but we never see Himawari and Jura run into each other. They've been kept apart narratively for a intentional reason. Now look at the current situation beyond the political landscape. Jura might potentially be in Konoha during a time where Jiraiya's chakra was just detected. Kobu is on the warpath for Shikamaru's head. He's looking for a smoking gun. Now you have the Shinju leader in the village, potentially when Boruto's also in the village, about to crash out because Sarada was captured by Code, and Kashin Koji saw Momoshiki take control of Boruto's body. It's all the ingredients for what you would call an S-tier shinobi clusterfuck. If Jura and Himawari interact, Boruto knows she or someone else is one bad interaction away with Jura from her status as being off limits in Konoha being taken away. It no longer becomes Konoha and Himawari off limits when he's in the village too. It's a whole green light on them. The last thing Boruto needs is to be simultaneously worrying about Sarada or his sister, let alone both of them at the same time. There's only so much that the mind can take, on top of the stress of carrying the burden of omnipotence. You add this to it, this might be enough to make Boruto crack. Enough for Momoshiki to attempt to hijack his body. That is likely why Shikamaru steps in. Koji will have a contingency plan in place now that Boruto has gone off to do his own thing. For a task that big, it should be Shikamaru above all else, so that Boruto can focus on the Sarada problem. Shikamaru can keep Himawari away, and he can also keep Jura separated and keep Jura away from anyone who may agitate him. Boruto can focus on putting on his super suit, his super cape, and saving Sarada's life. Think logically for a moment. What's the easiest way to keep Jura preoccupied, but also give Shikamaru the chance to gather intel on him? Have him read the rules book on shogi after Jura eats whatever it is that they're cooking and play a match of shogi with them. That interaction alone will tell Shikamaru what threat they're up against. For Ikimoto, it will be a good character writing moment to add more layers to the characters. We saw in Naruto's manga that Masashi Kishimoto did use shogi as a way to develop Asuma and Shikamaru. It also keeps Boruto's emotional state of mind intact. For a boy carrying the weight of the knowledge of multiple failed futures that Kashin Koji shared with him, this is one less worry and concern during a time where Boruto may not react in the calmest of ways. More importantly, Koji's other futures said Boruto would give himself up to Jura and the Shinju in order to save Sarada. Keeping Jura out of that dimension gives Boruto a chance to find a way to alter that fate. He can beat Code, he can beat Hidari. He cannot defeat Jura just yet. Sometimes the most important battle isn't the one with the explosions. It's not the one with the giant Rasengans. It's not the one with the reality breaking powers. I know that's a shock to Battle Shonen fans, but that's not always the case. I get it. We want our long fights. We want our fights with the huge build up and emotional payoff and etc. And even with something like this, there's been a gradual build towards the inevitable battle with Jura, but now's not really the time for that. And just again, given where Boruto's mental state of mind is in this moment in time, you have to be very careful. You don't want too much going on at the same time. A really great example of what happens when a story loads up too many things simultaneously, just take a look at The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Ignore all the clips, actually sit down and watch the movie. Way too much was going on, and it took what had the bones of a really good movie and it turned it into some bullshit. So I say that to say this: action's cool, but action's not needed right now, not with Jura. And a good writer knows how to utilize moments like this. Sometimes it's the quiet conversation over a cup of tea. Part of why the 13th Chairman arc in Hunter x Hunter is an absolute classic that is underrated. Sometimes that cup of tea is very important, where one man is secretly trying to save the world without the other one even realizing it. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Click here on the left, check out this Naruto Explained video, or click here on the right to check out that Bleach video that I was just talking to you guys about earlier.